All right, so this is how to integrate GravityForms with Hubspot using the Hubspot API, if you will, and you want to get your GravityForms submissions into your Hubspot instance. Um, you know, maybe you're not using HubSpot forms on your site because you have some kind of dynamic functionality, um, but you do want to get it the leads or contacts from your GravityForms on your WordPress site into HubSpot to use like the other marketing automation uh, functionality in there. So here's how to do it. It's going to require some knowledge of PHP for now. I'm thinking about writing a plugin to do this, a WordPress plugin. Um, More on that later. Stay tuned. Kind of bookmark this page or subscribe to our blog, and we'll send info about that out later if we make that happen. And then I'm going to go really quickly here, and I'll describe, how to do all this and put all the code in the blog post below. Okay, so here we go. Here's your GravityForms. This one specifically is an application. So apply online now. We're taking applications like job applications on our site. First name, last name, email, phone number, resume, cover letter. Why should we hire you? Right? Cool. So then in HubSpot, we don't have that form yet. So I'm going to create a new form. Apply online, right? Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is make the same form in HubSpot, right? And you'll see why we need that later. So first name, last name, email, phone. First name, last name, email. So we need phone number. Okay. File upload. I don't know. Can we do files in here? File. No, of course not. Let's create a new one. Resume. Go on the contact info, and it's going to be a file upload. Cool. All right. So we'll drop that in here, and then we're going to do cover letter, the same thing. All right. Cool. And the why should we hire you? Let's make that too. Why not? Not gonna hurt, right? This is actually multi-line text. Okay. So now we have that. Cool. So now we've made this form, right? Perfect. All right. So we have the form that matches our form here on GravityForms. And so now what we're going to do is get into our functions file. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about there, it is functions.php in the theme that's running your WordPress site. So WP content, themes, the theme folder that's currently active on your WordPress site, and then functions.php. Okay? You're going to need this function. It will be here below. The code is there below. You can literally copy and paste it and change nothing, and you'll be good to go. And now we're going to write a new function. Okay? This function is going to, and we're going to call it, what it is. So, online. Okay, so function apply online to HubSpot, right? Okay, cool. So the first thing that we need is the form ID. So HubSpot form ID, and that's going to be and the way to find that is to come back to your HubSpot form, right? And you can either embed it, and it's this ID right here that you're looking for, or you can always find it in the URL. So in the URL, after your portal ID, so this is your portal ID, the 6-digit number. After that, you have this guy right here. Grab that, put it there. Okay, so that's your HubSpot form ID. Now you need to map some fields. Okay, this is field mapping time. So to map the fields, start a new variable, call it, the post string, because you're gonna post this over to HubSpot, and this is going to look like this. So on the left-hand side, we're going to do the HubSpot name, field name. On the right-hand side, we're going to map that to the GravityForm field ID. Okay, so in HubSpot, you can edit a property, right? So edit the first name, and you'll see it's editing field property for first name. So first name, all lowercase, no space, no underline, none of that, right? So that's where you write first name equals dot URL encode. You need this URL encode because we're sending this over to HubSpot's API, so you have to encode it so any special characters or spaces or whatever are they won't break the API call. All right, so URL encode, and now what you're looking for is the entry. So whatever, each form submission is called an entry in GravityForms. So the entry ID, which is the field ID number 1. So field 1. First name is field ID 1, right here. Last name is field ID 2. Email is field ID 3. This is following sequentially, but if you mess up a field or whatever, these may be out of order. So it's very important that you look at each one. So field ID 1, 2, 3. So this one's going to be 1, right? And then I just like to, for cleanliness, do this dot, which extends. You need an ampersand, okay? And then what in HubSpot, what is last name? Last name, no space, no nothing. Last name equals dot URL encode entry. Whoa. 2. You can just copy and paste this. Right? So 3 is email. And just to be sure, come in here, email. Yep. What's phone number is phone. Okay. Phone. And that is 4, just to make sure. 4, yep. Resume is 5, cover letter is 6. Looks like we knew what we were doing. So 5, 6, and then what are these called here? Resume is just called resume. Cover letter is called cover underscore letter, very important. So resume, cover letter. Why should we hire you? Here's an instance where you may want to copy this, right? So remember, left-hand side is HubSpot, right-hand side is the field ID from GravityForms. So 5, 6, 7. Boom. That's it. Okay, that's field mapping. Let's comment that. Field mapping, HubSpot on the left, GravityForms on the right. Okay, so the next step here is we need to connect these two functions, the curl to HubSpot, and the apply online to HubSpot function. So what we'll do is send the data to HubSpot. So curl to HubSpot. It wants our entry. Okay, so this entry is the same entry that we got from here, which is the GravityForms entry. The string post is the string post, and then this HubSpot form ID is the HS form ID, which is this guy. So that guy is this guy. This guy is that guy. This guy is that guy. Boom. Don't forget your semicolon. Okay. Last thing we have to do is connect all of this to the actual submission of a form, right? If someone submits a form, we need to add an action. That action is going to happen on the GravityForm WordPress hook gform after submission. You can find this in the documentation of GravityForms, or just take my word for it. So after that happens, we want to fire this function off. Boom, boom, semicolon that, blow. All right, let's see if this works, right? So, what am I doing? I want to go to webmechanics.com. Whoa, slow load times. Come on, baby. Company. Let's go to our careers. Let's apply to this position here. Okay, we have a position. I may have missed a step for you guys. I'll cover that right now. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what form am I connecting? You see that in GravityForms we have form ID 6. Okay, so this is GravityForm ID number 6, and that's why there's an _6 here. So we're saying that add an action after the GravityForm is submitted, and the GravityForm number 6 is submitted, run this function, right? So you want to make sure that this ID 6 is the same as the form that you're filling out. So I use Google Chrome developer tools, and you can inspect an element, right? Inspect the element, and you can see that this is gform wrapper _6. That's the way that you know that that is ID 6, right? So I'm applying for a job in my own company. That's what the cool kids are doing these days, because I'm a cool kid. All right, send my application. Received your application. Thank you for da 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 da. That sounds good. Let's go here. Contacts home. I don't know how long this takes to happen. So let's jump in. Let's see if I'm in here. Hey, look at that. Apply online. So I filled out a, here's my cover letter. So we say it as a file upload, but I guess that didn't work so well, but that's okay. Why should we hire you? Because I'm cool. Last name, phone number, right? So it looks like everything mapped. Maybe first name didn't map. Did I spell it wrong? FIR. First name equals entry 1. Well, I don't know, but you get the point. So that's how to integrate HubSpot with GravityForms, WordPress form editing plugin. GravityForms is awesome, HubSpot's awesome, WordPress is awesome, everything's awesome. I'm happy, you're happy. That's how you integrate the guys. Hope this helps somebody out there. Let me know if you want me to make a plugin for this to make it so that you don't have to get into your functions file. I can do that, but I want to know the interest level, right? All right, guys, cheers.